Forgive me for being so graphic at the beginning of this week's Webdvar, but I have a memory as a child going to a fish store with my mother and my bubby. And I remember that a man took the fish out of the tank, put it on a counter, and was holding it down because the fish was flapping. He then took some kind of looked like a baseball bat, and gave a big zetz, a big smack to the fish, and the fish stopped flapping. And then he proceeded to cut up the fish, and he sold it to us, and we ended up taking it home. I don't remember eating the fish, but that memory has stayed with me, and I'm sure there are many people who are watching this who say, I remember that, I've been there too. And the reason why I'm mentioning all of this is that Yaakov Avinu in Parshas Vayechi gives brachos at the ends of his life to his sons. And he compares their attributes, a number of them, to animals. For example, he compares Yehuda to an aryeh, to a lion. He compares Binyamin to a ze'ev, to a wolf. And before he gives them brachos, he gave a brachos to Ephraim and Menashe, Yosef's two sons, meaning Yaakov's grandsons. And the bracha that he gave them were the words of Hamalach HaGoel that we all know, so we're also familiar with. And in the end of that pasuk of Hamalach HaGoel, it says, V'yidgu larov b'kerev haaretz, that they should be like dagim, they should be like fish, in that they multiply throughout the land, wishing that Ephraim and Menashe multiply, just like fish multiply in abundance, so too Ephraim and Menashe should be blessed, that they should multiply in abundance. But the Sfarim tell us that there was something a little bit deeper to that bracha as to why Yaakov Avinu chose a fish. And that is when it comes to any other animal. Let's say an animal which is kosher, which has signs of being kosher. It has split hooves, it chews its cud, and that animal is shechted, and it's shechted halachically. Even after it's shechted, that animal could then show signs on an internal examination of not being kosher. However, when it comes to a fish, as long as a fish has the signs of being a kosher fish, it has fins and it has scales, then that fish, no matter how it ends up being slaughtered, that fish will remain kosher. And so what Yaakov Avinu was saying to Ephraim and Menashe, he was giving them a bracha that no matter what happens, and these were the first grandsons, the first children of the Jewish people to grow up outside of the land of Israel, outside of the immediate family. Yaakov Avinu says they are going to face all kinds of challenges. They are going to be living among all kinds of different people in Mitzrayim. And he says he wanted to make sure that they realize that they should be like fish, that no matter what happens to them during their lifetime, they always remain kosher. And that's something that not only do we believe, but it's something that we have to remind ourselves of, that no matter what kind of challenges that we end up failing at, or we end up disappointing ourselves at, or we end up doing that maybe sometimes we end up regretting. Nevertheless, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we're always kosher. We're always his children. And his love for us never fades away. Of course, we may be a disappointment to ourselves. Sometimes we may be disappointed to Hashem, to others, but it doesn't mean that Hashem's love for us and our status of being kosher ever changes. That was the true bracha that Yaakov Avinu shared with Ephraim and Menashe. May we internalize this message and be zocheh to always keep the laws of kashrus. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.